Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. As I said yesterday in the markup that we had, we continue to fiddle in this subcommittee while Rome burns. Yesterday, I asked you and Chairman Guthrie to schedule hearings on the state of our public health system and the damage that the Trump administration is doing to cancer research, vaccination, and more. I gave each member of this committee a copy of this New York Times story describing the damage that this administration is doing to cancer research in this country. It discusses the firings at the NIH, new burdens on researchers, and the horde of political appointees who are interfering with science. Former NIH Director Harold Varmus is quoted saying, quote, "We are great in science. Why would we want to destroy one of our greatest assets?" Mr. Chairman, I'd ask for unanimous consent to enter that article into the record again.
Without objection, we'll enter it again.
Thank you, sir. I hope that everyone approaches this hearing and our work going forward with this story in mind. We also need to recall that we're working on these bills. While we're working on these bills, the administration has halted funding for the Pediatric Brain Tumor Consortium, which is dedicated to trials of novel treatments for pediatric brain cancer. And I haven't heard a peep from my colleagues on the other side who control this committee's agenda and activities. Here's one hearing we should be having today. We should be talking about the cuts to the NIH, FDA, CDC, and our nation's other critical health care agencies. The committee should be examining directives from the administration that have delayed or completely halted critical work. And all of us should be talking about the impact this is having on our constituents, from people who need help today, because years down the line, who won't get a cancer treatment because the administration thinks that Harvard University is too liberal. Let me be clear. I support working on these bills today, and I hope we can get them all to a good place, but we need to examine what's happening in the real world as we consider them. The Nancy Gardner Sewell Multi-Cancer Early Detection Screening Coverage Act will make new cancer screening tools more accessible to seniors. I support that. Meanwhile, the NIH's clinical center has been described to be as being in, quote, critical shape. And shifts in funding at the NIH mean that only 4% of the National Cancer Institute grant applications are going to get funded in this fiscal year. The Ensuring Patient Access to Critical Breakthrough Products Act will speed Medicare beneficiaries' access to promising new medical device, and that's good. But meanwhile, yesterday, Dr. Susan Monterez testified to a Senate committee that Secretary Kennedy had directed her to endorse ideological recommendations created by a sham advisory committee on immunization practices, regardless of the evidence backing them up. We're also considering a bill on national coverage determinations and local coverage determinations, tweaking the statutes associated with both. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is narrowing access to COVID-19 vaccines without any data to support the decision and seemingly overriding career staff at the FDA. And we're considering the Expanding Access to Diabetes Self-Management Training Act, which is a great bill to help Medicare beneficiaries with diabetes take better charge of the disease. As the co-chair of the Diabetes Caucus, Mr. Chairman, I love this bill. But meanwhile, the Trump administration has proposed to eliminate the National Diabetes Prevention Program at CDC, a program that is proven to help people with prediabetes avoid progression to type 2 diabetes through lifestyle changes. This is in addition to sweeping layoffs and program cancellations at CDC, including the gutting of ACEP. Secretary Kennedy is undermining science, dismantling research and development in our country, and making life-saving vaccines harder to get. I just want to add on a personal note, last night I was at the banquet for Friends of Cancer Research, which has many of the preeminent researchers and former heads of the NIH and HHS from both political parties. The mood was somber. People are distraught about what is happening to what was once the crown jewel of biomedical and cancer research in this country, and I won't stand still. I keep doing this every hearing, and I'm not going to stop. So once again, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask you, will you hold a hearing on these cuts the week of October 6th?
Thank the gentlelady. She yields back, and the
He's
answer
not
is...
gonna answer my
That's
question.
right.
Thank
I'm
you
not going
so
to answer
much,
the question
Mr.
because I don't have the answer. But October 6th is coming up, and we'll
Yes,
see
it
what,
is.
we'll see what we can get on the agenda.
Thank you.